we're thrilled right now for Sister Theresa and Sister Danielle as they join us to talk about the Advent Project. Ladies, thanks so much for being with us. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Sister Theresa, I'll start with you. The last time we spoke with you, you were able to be together with us here in the studio about your book, Memento Mori, and it's really caught on. And also, the rosary you've done for us is great, too. Tell us about the response to the book.
Yeah, it started about 3 years ago when I put a skull on my desk and started to meditate on my death. It was an imitation of our founder, Blessed James Alberione, who did the same thing. And, you know, that it just took fire from the moment I started to tweet about it. People were just interested in it, wanted to know more about it. That initiated me kind of doing more research and learning more about this tradition in the church. And so I wrote a Lenten devotional and a prayer book and a journal. And recently my aunt passed away last year. And at that moment, she had actually told my mother that my books had helped her to prepare for death, because she had received a diagnosis and within a week she had died. And she said, you know, Theresa's books helped me to be prepared for this because I feel ready to meet Jesus in heaven. So when I found that out before Advent of last year, and I thought, I prayed about it, and I hadn't intended to write a book on Advent and the last things, but that inspired me to do that. So I felt like she was interceding for me this whole time.
I have right in my hand the Lenten devotional, a noble project, if I might say. Sister Danielle, though, could you share with us what the Advent Project will be and how it will focus also on the last things?
Sure. I think I had the privilege of being the designer and kind of creative director of the project and the series. So it's been fun to see, and really beautiful to see the following, that this was born of the people through Twitter, through social media, which is the heart of our charism, to be with people in the digital continent. And like, it's just developed where people have been asking for something to carry them through day by day and through the whole year, really. So that really got us stirring when we developed an Lenten email series. And then from that, people were asking for something to carry them forward and even into Advent. So the idea was like also coming up naturally, and as Sister Alethia said, in her own prayer and life. And so the idea of pulling together that community into, and also combining it through meditating on Memento Mori, which is a tradition in the church to look at the 4 weeks leading up to in Advent, leading up to Christmas, through the last things. And so this book also is like, one of the main characteristics of it is it has over 20 artists that are contributing to through their own works of Memento Mori art that are paired with different devotions throughout Advent. So it's kind of pulling together the community that really asked for this, and where it's been really feeding people, and to give them something to pray with that's going to carry this practice, because it's really not a fad. It's something that you do to help you live more deeply and profoundly the grace that God's giving you in every moment throughout the whole year. And so to have something that meets people in another part of the liturgical year was really important to us.
Can you guys explain the structure of the book? So when people are reading the book, what will they see inside? What are some of the topics, so on and so forth?
Yeah, so the Lenten book focused on meditation on death, and obviously it brought in all of the last things, including judgment and hell and heaven, but it wasn't structured in that way. But because it was a tradition in Advent to be thinking about the last things, and the liturgical readings kind of center around judgment, especially at the beginning of Advent. But there was also a tradition in parishes to give a sermon on each of the last things, so death, judgment, hell, and heaven, leading up to Christmas. So we thought we would structure the Advent devotional in the same way. So each week is centered around the last things, which, some people might think that that's strange for a season like Advent to be paired with the last things, but that was actually very normal at some point. And some of our sisters even had some hesitations about that. They just thought, I don't know if that's really going to work. But it worked out beautifully, and it really helps people to understand that this isn't a morbid practice or a dark practice. It's actually very hope-filled, and it can help people to be centered on the hope that Jesus gives us, especially through the incarnation.
I have to
that
tell
we remember.
the cover is really striking. I'm a little scared of it. Can you tell us how people can stay connected with your work and how they can get a copy of the book?
Sure. Our book is available at paulinestore.com. You can pre-order it now. And they can also register to be included in our newsletter so that when we do actually put out the Advent email series, they'll be included in that as well.
Mm-hmm. And you can find the link for that at pursuedbytruth.com.
Well, sisters, always a pleasure to have you on. Best of luck, and keep writing books because they're great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
God
for
bless
having
you.
us on.
Bye.